Okay, so now we have moved on to Terry. We're already starting off with a difficult spirit. When I originally played this game, this is one of the hardest ones for me. Because I really don't like how floaty you are in this one. So you can already see him struggling with Terry. But anyway, so now I can talk a little bit of Terry now. I think I already expressed most of my thoughts when doing the World Tour Subworld earlier. But just to kind of reiterate some things. I haven't played King of Fighters, but I know it's really well known, well loved. I was hoping that would work. And yeah, that's actually about it. Again, the only fighting games I really officially played was Street Fighter 4, 3D for the 3DS. I'll just put on Spirit now. Because, again, as I expressed before, I'm not really too, I guess, into actual fighting games, or if I could remember, it's called Shoto fighting games. Because I'm also not too used to 3D fighting games as well. Like, for example, Pokken Tournament or Tekken. I just don't have the time to dedicate a lot of practice to especially find a main character or a character to main. And then learn, like, let's say, matchups. Like, at least for Smash Brothers, it's kind of easy to pick up and play. So, but as I again said before, I'm open to try those games in the near future, or if I do have the extra time. But as for Terry himself and Smash Brothers, I think he's a really interesting addition to the game. I think out of all the Shoto or the fighting game like characters, I think he's my favorite. I don't know why, it's just for me, he plays really smoothly. And his inputs are pretty easy to remember. I mean, Ryu and Ken's is pretty simple to know as well. But I really like his combat mechanic for Buster Wolf and Power Geyser, which I do know how to use, so that's good. Which I just missed right there. But like I said, I'm not really too good with these Shoto characters. Like, for example, I'm not paying attention to move canceling, which a lot of, let's say, high class or professional Smash players can do. For example, you can do, let's say, the jab combo to the side special. Let's see if I can try that. It's kind of like you can buffer the combo, but yeah, I was trying to do it, but I just don't really have the skill to do that. And also sometimes the buffering system is a little finicky because even though I'm trying to put an input, it sometimes register it as something else. I think what I will say, if you see me doing down smash a lot, it's probably because I'm trying to do the side special, which I forgot the name right now, Burning Knuckle. See, something like that, that's technically a little bit of a buffer right there. I'm not really getting good hits in. And so also, I'm kind of glad for the routing, is that I don't think I have Terry planned for any boss fights in this playthrough. Oh, here we go with Yoshi. Because even though I like Terry, he's probably like maybe one of my secondaries. I don't think if I could beat a boss with him. Because he's a melee fighter. So unlike Banjo and Piranha Plant in my last two boss fights, being up close to the boss is pretty risky and difficult to, you know, maintain. But yeah, that's about it. I just didn't want to lose, so I was going to use the final smash. Wow, didn't KO. Oh no, I missed. And that buffered through. That's lucky. I think that's really all I could share now. Again, it's not a lot for me to say about Terry, but I guess kind of going over again through his history, I suppose, because that's something we can talk about. Is that he really does come from like a really long history or a legacy generation or series similar to Street Fighter, but I don't know, I don't feel like King of Fighters is as well known as Street Fighter, because honestly I heard about it every once in a while, but for sure Street Fighter is probably the most iconic and I guess well known among the public, even for non-gamers out there. Especially when the Shoryuken Hadoken is the most iconic and memorable move that people obviously know, and sometimes mix up as well. Because I remember when people say Shoryuken when they throw fire a fireball, or, you know, I'm just like, that's not right. But as for King of Fighters, yeah, I don't know much about it until they presented the Terry showcase when he was revealed. And it really is an interesting history seeing such a, let's say, a long series just evolve over time. I think that goes for a lot of legacy titles like Mario, Zelda, Metroid, Yoshi, Donkey Kong, Street Fighter, Tekken, Final Fantasy, and all that. Even though I admit I haven't played a lot of those legacy titles, it's still interesting to look into those histories, because that's what made a lot of the gaming culture and I guess legacies today. I guess I could say that can lead to a tangent of game preservation and history, because I think nowadays, as far as I know, preserving legacy games has been quite difficult, or not being a priority in the video game industry. I mean, even just recently about the Nintendo eShop for the Wii U and 3DS, the store shutdown. There's some games that are just lost in time, like for example, Fire Emblem Fates Revelation. That's now gone. I think I'm gonna kill for the bees. And now we can't even access it anymore. It's gone. And that's considered one of the, I guess maybe, I think it is considered one of the main titles in the game. I think they consider Birthright, Conquest, and Revelations as 3 separate games rather than being 3 parts, like 3 houses. Which I am assuming that one day they will re-release Fates somehow on a newer generation of a Nintendo console, either Switch or whatever is the next one, perhaps. It'll be like a 3-in-1, so then it will function similar to 3 Houses. Because I have strong doubts that it will have a technical remaster. Okay, so I'm gonna concentrate for a little bit because this is a timed battle. But I think it'll be wiser just to put on a spirit. Or I'll give it one more try, but let's just see. I think it's doable, but I don't want to spend too much time on this particular spirit. But I guess just to kind of conclude the legacy title thing, yeah, it is pretty sad to have a lot of classic games just gone. Even Flash games, for example, that was a big chunk of my childhood. And I recently discovered this, I guess, archival. Yeah, archival. I guess simulator that you can download and watch and play those classic Flash stuff. And I am debating if I might one day record any of those Flash games one day. I guess that's just kind of something now that's an option for me. So I'll say we'll see. But alright, so yeah, I think for Terry's route it's pretty short and simple. And again, here's another dojo. So I guess now it's just kind of just reacting to the gameplay. Okay. Dude, that's pretty much all I have to share right now. Wow, that was just a lucky catch. You know, sometimes I don't want to use the final smash to win the spirit fight, but whatever, it saves time. Wow, there's another dojo here. Marin. You know, I haven't played a lot of Zelda games. Obviously the ones I played are the new ones. Like I played Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. But I also played the original, very first Legend of Zelda. I also played a little bit of Zelda 2, that notorious one. It's something. But I also played Wind Waker. I think I mentioned that before too. Because Wind Waker is one of my childhood classics. But other than that, haven't really played Twilight Princess. I know that one is a community or fan favorite, as well as Ocarina. I was hoping that would catch her. Okay. But Maybe one day I'll try at least Ocarina and Twilight, or finish Twilight. Because I think the only reason why I don't like playing Zelda too much is I just can't handle all the puzzles and trying to like make my way around everywhere. Like for example, I got pretty lost in Majora's Mask and didn't end up finishing it. So stuff like that is what, yeah, makes me don't feel like playing them sometimes, but maybe a little bit of dedication, as most players have, I can enjoy the games. Yeah, what's really hard is that Terry is, like I said, a melee. Yeah, I got Link at least. And there we go, I got Zelda. It really is difficult for especially multi-enemies or multi-man fights. But, you know, what can you do? Yay, so we're doing Slowpoke with reverse controls. Or reduce movement speed. Okay, I was hoping that the reverse controls would have disappeared. I guess it didn't. Movement speed down also didn't help, but I guess we just have to beat him before. There we go. Managed to grab him just before the switch. Do another dojo. Okay, so we got an Earthbound Spirit. I guess I can go on a quick tangent on Earthbound, I suppose. Like, I heard people really love this series, and they really want Mother 3, or whatever it's gonna be called, Earthbound something. Earthbound Endings, I don't know. Wow. But I haven't played any of the games yet, even though I know that they're both available. But again, I do hope Earthbound 3, sorry, yeah. Mother 3 or whichever it will be localized. So for those who don't know, that features Lucas, which has been, or he has been part of Smash since Super Smash Bros. Brawl. And I actually main Lucas, or technically I like playing Lucas in Brawl. In this game, not really as much as before. Doesn't feel as I guess, smooth as he used to be. But maybe one day the game will be localized and I'll play all 3 games. I even didn't play the, I guess, a spiritual successor Undertale. I haven't played that one either. Even though I know that one's really well liked, or I mean well received as well. But I do know a lot about Undertale. That's something I've watched since its release and other playthroughs of it. There's a lot of good modern classics now. It's like, it's pretty surprising how time passes by, or some games where you remember playing when you were younger is now considered 10, 15 years old. That's really a surprising. Okay, so I'm trying to do his inputs. And like I said, it doesn't really go through sometimes. I think it's because I'm not maybe emphasizing it more. But I guess just to finish the thought about games becoming old, I suppose. I just can't believe there's a lot of things that are from my generation versus the next generation. As I've said, Flash is one of the, probably the biggest ones. Just considering that was a big part of my childhood, and they're all technically gone now. Yeah, this is annoying. And I didn't knock him out either. So it kind of makes me curious about like what would be the next things that are coming. Because like we have now Five Nights at Freddy's, that's kind of old now. Actually, I guess it's nearing 10 years, or at least it's be more than 5 years at least. And stuff like that. A lot of recent occult classics, I suppose. I didn't know how to kill. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna concentrate for a second here. And this is just, well, sad. But I guess every once in a while, even I can't do anything about these kinds of spirits. I'm more surprised that Terry's knockback is not that good, or I cannot KO him with all the smash attacks I'm doing. Like, that took him to 160. But I guess I just noticed it's also 3-star spirit, so I guess that's why. It's pretty beefy or high defense. I can do that one later. And I think that's all done, so we can do this now. I guess now for another side tangent, yeah, we're some more Star Fox spirits. I think I mentioned before I never played Star Fox except the GameCube. Yeah, only even for the GameCube, which I forgot the name. Just Star Fox for GameCube. I only played the multiplayer with some friends, which was fun back then. I think I was pretty decent at it too. I won most of the matches, but I honestly don't remember. I just do remember. I think I played mostly Falco or Fox, but you can also play as Slippy and Peppy. But that was an interesting or fun concept back then. Okay, so now we're up against Nina. Or Nina? No, I think it's Nina. And I have played Shadow Dragons, I know who this character is. I'm still surprised that new emblem, new Mystery of the Emblem is not localized. That's what surprises me. Oh, I'm losing the Hardened. I'm assuming that's what Ganondorf is supposed to represent. If not, oh my bad. But yeah, I'm really surprised that new Mystery of the Emblem, or I guess the remake of the third game for the DS, similar to Shadow Dragon, is not localized. Because that's a pretty big story part of the Fire Emblem series. Especially that it still features Marth, I wouldn't say poster, but in terms of the actual Fire Emblem storyline, it's a pretty major plot or major game. Because I guess for some who don't really know, I guess the main story per se games is like Shadow Dragon, followed by Shadows of Olympia, Mystery of the Emblem, Genealogy, Thracia, and it kind of skips a little during the Game Boy era, because technically I guess it's technically, oh yeah, Binding Blazing technically is in its own universe. Sacred Stones is in its own universe. And here's Fox. And then we have Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn, but apparently they're also part of, let's say, Marth's universe. Because Ike does have a descendant in Awakening. And then obviously you have Awakening. Which takes place, I believe, 1,000 years after Marth's time. And then Fates and Conquest, I have no idea where those lies in the timeline, but I think it's before Awakening, if I can remember. And then we have 3 houses, which I assume is its own universe, and then engage, which is just similar to, in my opinion, it's more like warriors, but whichever the case, the gateway to other worlds. Right.